Hi, everyone. It's Cricket Barrientos, and we're here again with Spectrum Talks and Tips International. And today we are here again with co-host Dr. Anelia Khan, clinical psychologist, psychotherapist, and speech therapist, and much, much more from Pakistan. Hello, how are you, Dr. Khan, today?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Today, I know we have a cool subject or topic matter that we're talking about. It's fun activities for speech development in children with special needs. So I know that you have done such an awesome job with the younger generations in Pakistan, helping them get to that point where they're able to speak and be able to start saying words and things like that. So I can't wait to hear more about what you're going to share with us today.
Thank you so much for the opportunity, and thank you so much for agreeing upon doing such session, because I think it's very important. And I would like to say that I just created the presentation like anybody could do this activity at home, because I believe that, and I believe in working with mothers. So that is the whole perspective of training. That is a perspective of telling other people, yes, you need a therapist. Always go to therapist, because the thing is that she's going to guide you technically. There are a few points where you have to talk to therapist about a lot of things. Like, just I was talking to you and I would just mention a case that the child was going to the therapy and they discontinued the therapy, and I think that was a point where the child would have improved rapidly, but they just they just lost their hope. So don't lost your hope ever again, because what I would say over here is that there's always chances of improvement, and anybody could improve at any time. So let's start our presentation. And so let me do a slideshow.
Perfect.
Yeah, I just did colorful, because these are kids and I love kids. I love working with kids. Okay, so these are fun activities. Like she introduced me already, and you would already know that I'm working with autism. I'm doing autism advocacy. I'm working since 2011. So let's just jump to the topic. Okay, just I would like to ask a question, and I would like you to think about that have you ever noticed your baby cries differently for different needs? Different cries are baby's way of communicating with you. So please keep in mind that, don't think that this presentation is for younger or small or toddlers. It could be applicable to anyone. You just need to change the difficulty level according to that level, and you can also change that activity. You can also modify, or you could say you have to be creative as a therapist, and as a mother you have to be creative. So the point over here is that those parents who think that their child is not communicating, just try to listen to their cry. The cry is different. When the child is hungry, the cry is different. When the child want to drink something, the cry is different. When when the baby want milk, then the cry is different. So the cry is the first way a child is communicating to you, and communicating wants and needs in front of you. So you might get the idea that the baby cry is very important, in the sense that you have to first start listening to the cry. You just first start listening to the emotions they are showing. The cry, the facial expression start there, so that you get this idea that the child is comfortable or not in certain situation. Because until and unless the child is not communicating, the child don't have functional communication, he cannot communicate certain things. But over here you have to play a role, and I'm sure mothers understand that what their child need and how their child need, because they can understand the emotion of their children. And children are also able to understand your emotions. So you also need to keep this thing in your mind. Give positive vibe energy to your child. Okay, so how do we have to change the cry into speech? Let's talk a little about that. By the age of 1 year, baby will develop both non-verbal and verbal language skills to communicate. It could be sounds, it could be words, it could be intangible speech, or it could be the sound which don't make any sense, but it would be kind of a babyish language. For example, mum, mum, dada, ba, something like that. The baby help develop essential language milestone. Here are 21 kids. There are certain activities which will help the child to listen and to respond to what you're trying to say, because listening skill is also very important for communication. It's not just talking. Your child is listening to you or not, your child is paying attention to you or not. That is very important in learning activity. So whenever we start, even in our speech, even in our sessions, not just speech, it could be behavior therapy, it could be play therapy session, we make sure that the child is paying attention toward us. The child is listening, but we are trying to say to him. So just as keep on a tab that the child listen to you also. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about 1 year speech developmental milestone. Okay, during 1 year, most babies develop following language milestone: recognize familiar voice, respond to familiar voice by smiling, by laughing. If they will coo, squeak, or short, they can make any kind of sound, like baby sound. The way they start looking toward you, they will start giggling sound. Has different cries for different, like I already told you. Communicate through gesture, point to bottle, or try to hold something, or looking toward that thing. It also means that the child is able to communicate to you. Repeat sounds and action, clapping, touching you, touching your face, touching your hand. The child could do these things. Repeat words or repeat sounds also. Recognize the name of common objects. Even the child would also start saying mom, mom, baba, papa, whatever they're calling you. And also show interest in reading books. And keep this thing in mind. 2 or 3 months could be a gap, but if the gap is too long, it means that it's a concern. You need to consult to a speech therapist and psychologist. So let's talk about speech development activities. Okay, let's just instead of saying a lot of things about speech therapy and stuff like that, I'm just jumping toward the techniques or the fun activities which you could do with the child. The first is the animal jam. So we all know that we have a very amazing poem of the poems, that is Old MacDonald had a farm, or whatever you call, but however you phrase that. And animal sounds are the good way to teach a child. And these are not just the sound, because a lot of children, especially I would talk about children who have autism, who have ADHD, and who are ADHD. In ADHD kids, there is somehow speech is there, but let's talk about ADHD children, or let's talk about autistic children. They don't give eye contact. Okay, it's a separate thing, but they don't even look toward the person. They're looking, or they're staring in the air, or they're looking here and there. So what you're going to do about that? You have to take the child attention. How you're going to engage the child? It's always play. Play is a very good way to engage the child. So we started like in one of our episodes, we talked about animal and environmental sounds. So let's just start with the cow says more, and there are very good equipment or good toys available for animal farm. You can use them also. You can use a book also, and you can even use that poem also. So like say cow says moo, what does duck says quack quack, and chicken cuckoo. Like there are different sounds. It could be any kind of sound. What is the sound of tractor? What is the sound of horn says beep beep? So use this technique, and you can you can also use the pitch up and down, or it's just you just don't need to be perfect over here. Just use animal set and just start telling people what they can do, and how they can do that, or how the child is saying. What does a cow says? Cow says moo. What a duck says? Duck says quack quack. So things like that. And what mommy says, mommy smiles, or it could be anything. So whatever you think that your child enjoys, just add that thing into that animal jam. So I think it's a very simple technique. And the thing is that a lot of children enjoy animals. They love stuffed toys. They love that animal model. So you can use that. Okay. So the next technique I would like to talk about is sound stories. So like we are getting that we have to use the sounds, because words is the second or third step. Words are coming on. And one day there was a discussion. I just said that, do you think that talking is the first step of communication? There are 7 to 8 steps that a child need to go toward that step. That is a kind of a hierarchy that the child need to meet that thing that the child is going to talk about. And people, there are few people, they disagree with me. And then it said, is it a research thing? From where you study this and stuff like that. I said, it's a research-based thing. Even if you work with the patient, you get this idea that before anything, you have to work on the attention. You have to work on the listening power, that the child is listening or not. Joint attention is very important. The child is pointing, the child is identifying, the child is giving you that thing. Do the child have non-verbal vocabulary for that? So you have to follow these steps, and it will be very easy. The steps, and these steps are not that difficult steps. But even then, we start with sound. Always sound. First sounds come, then the speech come. So sound stories are very important to develop, and it is also good and fun way to develop your bond with the child. So, and always a good thing about that is, when your child is younger, then start reading books toward your children. Start telling stories. and you will find a lot of books in the bookstores. You will find a lot of, preload toys and stuff like that. You can even take stuff from there also, and you can even download them. You can even take pictures and you can use them also. So story time is a wonderful way to develop the sounds, and it's a wonderful way that you're bonding, you're developing a bonding with your child, and it is going to enrich the child language, and it will also have to learn the speech, and the child also need to learn non-verbal communication first. So what is a mom apple? If a child is not able to speak, what would say? Where's apple? Where's mango? Let's point the mango. You just hold a child hand. Yes, this is mango. This is apple. So that is the way you are working on 3 to 4 things at the same time. It could be 5 or 10 minutes. You don't need to give 1 hour for that thing. 5 and 10 minutes is enough for this activity. Maybe 5 minutes are also enough. So just buy a small storybook and start telling your story to your children. And it should be a picture book and colorful book also. It also helps, and even you can use other things also. But what I think is that a child love when the books are colorful and when the pictures are good and bright. So use these things. So instead, if like it's written already over here that reading book make reading fun, additional face expense. Oh, what a cow says. Cow says moo. Example, it could be anything. So you need to be as funny as you can. So when you're spending time with your child, just give time to your child. Ignore the whole world for that moment, because you don't need to give 20, 30 or 40 minutes or more than that. It could be 10 to 15 minutes to your child, and you can do this activity on daily basis. You can set time for that. It could be bedtime, it could be before bed. So just read a story toward your child, and sounds effect, voice inflection, animal sound expression, it could be anything. So just buy these books and make your own sound story and read the story for the child. So let's see. Our next activity is talk back. It means that you have to talk like the way the baby is talking. Baby talk, gibberish, whatever the child sing, you're saying ow, ow, oh, it could be anything. So the way the child is talking, talk back. And you will see that the moment you start copying your children, the child is so happy to respond you back. And you will see that the child expressions are going to change, because they are getting to know what you are saying to that, in the sense, not in the sense that it is the actual communication, but even then that it is a way to help your child that when you have to talk, then you have to listen also. So you are working on two, three things at the same time over here. So just give me a moment. I just need to pause. I just have a little bit of emergency over here. I'm not getting it. So you just need to talk back the way child is talking. It doesn't need to make any sense. I think whenever you're working with children, then it's not always that what you're doing is making any kind of sense. Just it should be silly because the child is making those sounds. So just be playful, be open to everything. So just do these things for the children, and cool. It could be crying, it could be hello, waving, hi, bye-bye, high five, it could be anything. So what kind of sound they're making, just copy that sound, so that they start getting the idea that that's how we can communicate with each other. And plus the thing is that sometimes whenever the child is developing, then sometimes if we talk about children with autism or ADHD or other children who have speech delay, they should get people need to understand, your parents need, or caregiver or professional need to understand this idea that sometimes they forget so easily, and the reason is that they don't see any the parents or the child don't see that these words are meaningful. But if you are a therapist, then you understand this idea that everything is meaningful, whatever coming is from the sound. Because for example, we have 26 alphabets, so we have 26 sounds. Why don't we understand this thing, that we have to teach them each and every sound? So if a child is coming from any sound, just try to use that sound, just try to make that sound. For example, ba is baba, mum, mama, mango. So these are ba, baba, baby, so we are using maybe a sound of ba, and we just make a lot of things from that. So you need to understand that you can use it creatively the way you can, and just try to listen what your baby is saying. and just talk back. So your child baby needed to understand that what I am saying. Okay, so the other thing is that the other is name the color and there are a few things which children like a lot. It could be colors, numbers, and animals. Like your own son, he loves animals, so it could be anything. So just start doing by, this is just a way to communicate, or just your child to engage in the environment, because those children, they live in their own world. So we have to go to their world and we have to take them out. So what we are going to do, so let's play a color game. There are colors everywhere, everything is made up of color. Oh, this is yellow, this is pink, this is blue. So we have color everywhere. Why don't you point your child hand toward that thing, and he's going to develop his eye hand coordination also, and that attention is also going to improve. And when the child is paying attention, it means that the child is going to uh, respond you better next time we talk about it. So pass the color. It could be while walk in the park, tell about whenever you're in the shopping mall, talk about the colors. When you're anywhere, just talk about colors, so that the child start responding you something. Maybe from that color the child start pointing something. Maybe the child know how to identify things. Maybe the child know what to do. Maybe you say yellow apple, so you're telling him two things. You're telling the quality of that apple also. Yellow apple, green green leaf, yellow sun. So we are helping the child to develop a non-verbal communication or non-verbal vocabulary. And that is the thing. Mirror is a very important thing, because it is so important, because all the time the child have to change. You have to change the dress of the child. So what does that mean? What does a mirror mean? You are mirroring your child. So it is so helpful. You can teach over here the body parts. And we all know that these children are in pain. They don't say anything to us, and they cry. And sometimes just because of that, the child have meltdown or temper tantrum. So why? Because the child cannot communicate. So it's important. It could be a tummy time. You could teach body parts over here. Just do physical. You can even I use mirror in the therapy, because those children who are not looking to me directly, I use mirror. And those children who have sensitive issues, you can also use mirror for them. So just your child is standing in front of mirror, and just do this eyes, nose, and we have this heart, shoulder, knees, and toes. These are different things. Just help your child. And you can also teach some emotions, like emotions in front of picture, in front of the mirror. So the child is, you're making your face in the mirror, and the child is also making face in the mirror. Okay, if he cannot make, then what we could do? Smile, sad face, angry. You're getting the point. Like angry, happy, surprise. So we are teaching emotion over here, and emotions are very important, because those children have issue in their emotional regulation. So why not we start teaching them the child act? Other thing is karaoke. It's me like singing. It could be, it's so important. Like you can use rhymes over here. You can use your favorite song. You can use your regional song over here. So just have two mics. I like you will find this mic somewhere, and just use two mics, and just do it. One you're doing. If the child is on the sound, just imitate sound for each other. A, B. If the child know ABC, A, B, C, D. So it's just facial expression, new word, new reflection, new expression. This is just a way to teach your child, just to be engaged with that child. You just need two mics and just start playing with your child. And you can make silly faces. And sing is because singing and rhyming, those children love music, those children love rhyming. So those children, if love rhyming, why not you use that for your own benefits, in the sense to help the child to develop the speech. So just use it over for just use the that singing thing for the child to facilitate the speech process. And it's also going to help the child to long his breathe. And the child need to have important strength to utter the word. So this is the way to to make the child oral motor area strong. Next is monkey see, monkey do. So like I told you, a lot of children love animals. So why not we use that? Monkey see, monkey do is all about facial expression. Facial expression are an important aspect of the speech development, because emotions is important. Research suggests that 60 to 65% communication is about emotions. So encourage, mimic, like I told you already, mimic the face expression, mimic the baby smile, or even you can mimic the child facial expression. Oh, you're doing this, you're doing, you're doing this. So over here, you're mimicking your child. So just do that. Just help a child to know, because he don't know what I'm doing. He's making different kind of facial expression, but he don't know what I'm doing. So why is expression of surprise? Why surprise? No, no. What you are doing? No, we are not doing that. So this is no with a lot of variation. Yes, it's a lot of variation. So just use these simple thing to help your child to develop the communication. Next is FaceTime. Okay, it's a fun activity. It means that you're prompting speech research development. And I would say that over here you could use small, like you can use bubble also, like the blowing the bubble, blowing the paper, and activities. And you will find a lot of activities that you just set a table for the child and just blow small balls in the cup. It could be that. And you have to tell your child that they have to look in this area, or you can do just like that and look into your child eyes and talk to your child. So face to face mean that it's a fun activity that teach your child the face, teach your child the about his about his body parts. And you can also teach your child the making same expression, because over here expression is very important. So it's all depend upon you, whether you use mirror, whether you can use stuffed toy also. So you can just add stuffed toy over there. So just even like I told about the monkey do monkey say, over there you can say, you can do a lot of things. Like for example, monkey say, yes mama, I'm hungry. Monkey say, mama, I want to drink some water. Oh yes, let's go to drink water. Monkey says, mama, I am eating something. So you're just modeling the things over there. So pointed, baby nose, mama nose, baby hand, mama hand, or allow that baby to touch your face to just get communicated, just get comfortable with that touching, because sometimes those children don't want hug, those children don't like touching. So over here we are just giving them that the feeling that what is touch and how the touch is different. The hair is a different texture, the nose is different makeup, and it's more like you're just developing the important skill that a child required to talk. And it's not just about speaking, it's about knowing what you are talking about. Okay, the thing over here is imitation is very important. Imitation is, you are teaching your child to copy you. So it could be action, it could be voice, it could be playing something. For example, you're dragging the child, oh I am dragging the car, oh I am jumping. For example, that action words, jumping, clapping, I am eating. So either you can show these cards, or either you can do this in front of the child. And the important thing over here, these are so small actions that you can teach your child also. Okay, I am eating, mama is eating, baby is eating, mama is clapping, baby is clapping. So you're teaching them imitation. It could be sound imitation, it could be animal sound, it could be any kind of sound. So you just give them variation and back and forth, yes, no, 1 month old. I mean, the thing is that over here you're just making it the habit of a child to talk back. This is what I'm trying to say. The child need to understand that if I'm talking, somebody's talking to me, either the person understand or not. Because a lot of the time we have seen the children, and even we have seen the adult, they stop talking because they know that the other person is not understanding us. I mean, they don't get what we are crying for, what we want. They're just not paying attention. So pay attention to your child and pay attention to what they're trying to communicate. Okay, the activity with say my name is to help the baby along the language development. Say your name, say the baby name. The baby should know his name, must know his name. The baby should know the name of his parents. And you can also add the if the child is able, then you can try to teach the child the city, the town the child is living, because anything could happen a child. Maybe the child, we have seen, because we have seen the news all the time, that the child was lost, and he was not able to tell something to the parent, and not able to tell something to the policeman, or maybe he was in a church, or maybe now the child was in a mosque, and the child mosque, and he was crying. He was not able to say anything. And the person, the mosque people say that we have a child who is wearing red shirt and he's crying, he's not able to tell his name, and he's not able to tell the parent's name. So if such situation happens, we are trying to prevent such situation. So try to teach the child his name, tell your name, tell your parents, and tell your family members' name, and also show their pictures, because sometimes those children are not comfortable with a lot of people. So They know that this is our family. We have to be comfortable with them, and we have to know who our family is, which our family tree is, and also ask question. What is your name? Yes, your name is Ali, or whatever the name is, and also replace the names of book character with your baby also. The thing is that name, you can have a the family tree pictures also. So just start with that. Start with the family tree picture, make this family tree, and just introduce all family members to the child, and also introduce that these are people, this is your family, and you can somehow relay on that people. For example, if you know somebody, you have seen somebody and you might be lost somewhere, you can go to that person. So that is very important, and that is your known person, and you don't need to go toward the stranger. Over here we are preventing a lot of things, and we need to think about that also. So don't think that this world is a very good place in that sense. I'm not saying that, Jisa, but we have some people around here who have bad intention toward these kids, who might be involved in kidnapping and stuff like that. So we have to keep these things in our mind, because I know that a lot of parents are all the time thinking about what we are going to do when the child we are not with our child. So this is how we are going to make our child independent. Next is ego. So it means that include new words in Cree language. For instance, your baby dropped his bottle and said, "Oh," and you will notice that after some time, the child, if you're saying stop, and the bottle of the child will say by himself, "Oh, oh, oh." Like for example, I'm feeding I'm working with the child, and when I feed, I said, "Oh, oh," then he would say that. If I don't say that, then he would say that. For example, if the something fall from that spoon, then I would say, "Oh, oh." Then if I stop saying that, now the child is saying, "Oh, oh," because he know that this is my expression for saying this. And we have a little bit. So just make this kind of sign, and "oh, oh no" is a word. You're giving expression to the word. So you are mixing 2-3 things so that the child understands these things quickly. So like I'm saying, be creative. You don't need to stick to the plan. You don't need to do whatever you're trying to do. But the thing is that plan your child the thing, and you don't need to give hours to your children. It could be half hour on daily basis enough, and try to give the child time that you can give them time on daily basis. Otherwise, the child is going to get upset, because the child would say that we are not important. You're not giving us the time. And sometimes mother feel that feeling guilty that we are not able to give our time to the child. So, this is a carpool, and carpool, because if we talk about boys, they love cars, and it could be a doll pool also. It's not necessary to be a carpool. If we are talking about girls, then it could be a doll pool. It means that just collect all the cars you have, and just we have a lot of emotions with a car, back and forth, stop, start. So we can teach them. We can teach them action, and we can teach them the vocabulary. We can teach them the word also, and we can teach the child to perform that action. So riding a car, you're riding a bus, but a bus say beep beep, we on the bus go round and round. So we are adding too many things, and we can add too many things into that thing. So I think that is the easy way to tell a child to develop a vocabulary. And even you can make a animal pool also. So you need to be creative about things. So I'm just giving you the ideas, and these are specially ideas for home. That is important, that these things are available at your home. Just use them. Next thing is roll a ball, and it is very good because it also involves, and you can use them for small children, adult children. I will tell you about both, how you can use about both toward this to both of them, like both gender, both age, kid or and adult, not the adult but the boys. If for a child we need a small ball, it could be small ball, and you can even use a sensory ball. Those have grooves. Just use that also, because those children have sensory issues also. So we have to get the all in. Just roll the ball toward the child and see the child is following the ball or not. So when you start playing with the child, and the ball is coming back and forth, and you're just stopping the ball, and it means that you're giving him the skill. Oh, stop! Here is a red ball. Let's throw the ball. Throw the ball toward me. Let's stop the ball. So it is action, it is speech, it is non-verbal communication, and it's eye-hand coordination. It's upper limbs and lower limbs activity also. So fine motor and got motor skill are going to improve toward that, because we have to think about these things also, because it's not just about the speech. Other areas are also important. So imitation, also command following, give me the ball, take the ball. And for adult, you can use it as a foot here, as a football. So for adult kid, you can just kick the ball, you can throw the ball, you can run toward the ball. So you can use the same activity for two different kind of age. Peekaboo is lovely activity for the children. and they love peekaboo. So, and let just let's just modify the peekaboo. What we can do? Why not we hide the child favorite toy somewhere? What do you want? Where's my teddy bear? So just hide that teddy bear somewhere. And we also know that the children are so good in getting back what they like. So because they have memory and they know that where our mother is going to hide that thing, and a lot of people will agree to that thing. So you can use peekaboo that way. That let's what you could do. Oh, let's find your teddy bear. Where's your teddy bear? Is it in the behind the door? Is it behind the window? Is it in the washroom? So we are giving him the vocabulary. We are telling him what is door, what is washroom, what is window. So it is a just small activity, and it look very small activity. I mean, if somebody says what is peekaboo, what we can do peekaboo, but you can use it that way. So creative dialogue could be into that. Speaking could be involved. Recognizing about the place, knowing the knowing the own place. What is washroom? Where is the washroom? What we call this place? What we call door? What is actually door? So we are teaching a lot of things over here, and we are using a simple activity creatively. The next thing is finger puppet. So finger puppets are so you can make them by from the cards, or you can also find you could say you can also find the puppets. I have seen finger puppets in the shops also. So you can also use that, and you can even make your own finger puppet from the socks also. So just use them by finger puppet, and first introduce yourself, your family. First try with family tree. The child should know the family, and it is very important. The child should know the name of the family. It is important because we have heard a lot of things which because we have to think for everything, because as a parent, as a therapist, we have to see the whole life of the children. So let's use finger puppet, show emotions, facial expression, speaking, puppets, puppet story. Even we have a poem of the daddy finger, where are you? Mommy finger, where are you? Baby finger, where are you? So we can use it that way. So that's how we are going to use that finger puppet. So food and things, that's so important. You even don't need to have to go to outside, and whatever you're talking, everything's available at your home. So whatever is in your kitchen, when you see that your child is coming into kitchen, just tell him what this is. This is apple, this is mango, this is banana, this is stove. We cook on the stove, this is plate, we eat in the plate, this is spoon. We use our hand to eat something from the spoon. So we are telling him what this is, and we are also telling him the function of that thing. So it could be vegetable, it could be names, it could be utensils, it could be door, window, fridge, or plates. It could be anything. So use things you have in the surround. So whenever you are tired and you don't have the energy to talk to the child, and you don't have the energy to bring the stuff here, just sit wherever you are and use that place. Just say, yes, this is TV launch. What do we have in a TV launch? We have a remote, we have a TV, we have sofas, we have a table, and we have couch, and we are watching TV in the TV launch. So we are in kitchen today, but this is what we are doing in the kitchen. So use the place wherever you are. Just tell the child what this is, and what and how that place is, and what we do in that place. So like in kitchen we are cooking, in bedroom we are sleeping, in TV launch we just relax and watch the TV, in dining room we are eating. So you are helping your child to know a lot of things. Another thing is storytelling. So over here, what you could do: book, rhymes, cards, and stuff like that. Like one little pickle went to market, and it is more kind of a social situation. So you're developing your child's social vocabulary. You're using a social story over here. So it's not just like that. You can do something else also. You can make your own story. Like for example, your child name is James. Oh, James is hungry. James is going to kitchen. James, like for example, you can describe over here the step to eat, the step to drink water. For example, James is thirsty. James need to drink water. James need to have a glass. James need to have wash that glass. James need to put water in that glass. James need to drink that glass. And James is now not he's not thirsty anymore because he drink water. So I just make a story, and you can use that story. So like I'm telling you that you have to be creative. You can be creative at any level. Just things you have. Just use the things you have. And what I would like to say that you're doing very great. Whatever you're doing, just stay calm and give a positive vibe to it. You don't need to hurry towards it, because these things will take time, and these things are not going to emerge in one day. And every child is different on same disease or disorder. So just stay back and do your best, and the child will eventually, when the child will come, then the child will start showing everything you are giving them. The child. And even if the child is not talking, doesn't mean the child don't understand. The child is listening to everything. The child is observing everything, and everything is going over here. So it is saving in the brain. So when a time will come, the child starts speaking, so he will have the vocabulary. You work on that child. So that's all for today. I think that was easiest thing we could do at home, and that was good at presentation, by the way.
You did such a great job, Dr. Khan. I do have a couple questions for you. With all the things that you just taught.
Just a minute. You can close this, and we can record the question answer session because I just have 1 minute. So we should start that meeting again. Otherwise,
Jump
thank you everybody for listening to us, and just we are going to do question answer session. Thank you.
Thank you.